What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video where I'm going to be showing you a live seller call where I close a cold call lead. Now, before we get into the call, I wanted to break down a couple of things that I want you to pay attention to, kind of jot down, and maybe add and implement into your process of closing cold call leads. Okay, first and foremost, what does my cold caller ask the seller? What information do they gather for me to be able to close this deal? So, first things first, they go through a modified version of the King Closers formula. Okay, so they're going to ask the seller, do you have a property that you want to sell? What property is that? How much do you want for it? Tell me a little bit about the condition. What's your timeline on wanting to sell the property? So going into this, I already have a general idea of whether or not this is a deal or not. Okay. Now, I don't pre-comp the property because I like to comp the properties live while I'm on the phone with the seller, but I do have some information already about the value of the property going into this call. What we do is we ask the seller, how much do you want for this property? In this scenario, the seller told us they wanted $30,000. The virtual assistant then will add in the notes the Zestimate from Zillow. And then also, if they don't have a Zestimate, then it'll add in this is how much realtor.com or this is how much Redfin said the property is worth. So going into this call, I already knew that this property at $30,000 was pretty significantly discount from full market value in the area. Now, that being said, the seller had already told us that the property needed quite a bit of work. So my job on this lead, when I call the seller, is not necessarily to close the deal. It's really to gather information. And so what you'll see is very early on, I'm going to be going right into condition where normally what I would say like on an inbound lead or a typical lead when we're going through the closer's formula, it's more about the seller's motivation and stuff like that. This is modified here because, quite frankly, we already know that they want to sell. We already know that it's a good deal. We just really need to make sure that the $30,000 works with the amount of repairs needed. So as I'm going through this, what my actions that I'm doing on the backside is just verifying what is the actual after repair value and asking solid questions about the condition to verify that that $30,000 number is a good number to offer. And in this case, it was. Then at that point in time, I'm going to have to answer any questions that they have about the process, overcome any objections. There were a few that we had to overcome to get this to the closing table, but not many. This is a fairly easy lay down lead. But what I really want you guys to take away from this is that is the benefit of having solid lead generation. You can lean on that and say, hey, the lead generation did its job here. We don't have to overthink the process. If it's a deal, close the deal. That is our job. And Steve said this the other day during our closer's cage match. A great closer just doesn't screw it up. And so sometimes, yeah, you can look at it and say, well, RJ, you didn't really do a whole lot there. I mean, all you did is give the guy exactly what he wants. It was already a good deal. So if you have a great deal sitting there, just stay out of the way. Don't screw up. Go through the process. Verify your numbers. Overcome any objections. Make sure they understand the process and get the deal closed. So without further ado, enjoy me closing this cold call lead. Hey, is Chad there?
Yep, that's them.
Hey, Chad, this is RJ Bates calling about your property there on 11th Street. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You still want to sell that property?
Oh, yeah. And like I tell everybody, it's $30,000
Yeah.
as is. It needs redone. There's a lot of things that need to be redone, but it's all doable. And I'm a contractor, so I know exactly how much it takes to fix it up. And, you know, you can turn around and sell it too, still make money on it.
Right.
So,
how much would it cost you to fix it up?
probably, if I ended up doing it, it'd probably be right around maybe 28, 30.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking about doing a whole gut. Because we started gutting shit, that was about a year ago. So, and right now, I just don't have the time.
Right. All right. So you say about 30,000. Let's say it just cost me 40 because I'm not the contractor.
Nope, I hear you.
You know, I mean,
yeah, I mean, if you had to hire somebody else, I'm saying you might be in the 40, maybe 45 max.
Yeah, I mean, like,
you know how elaborate you want to get with it too. So.
Well, I mean, we're probably going to keep it as a rental property, so it's not going to be elaborate at all.
Right, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just depends, how much you really want to put into it. So.
Does it need like systems like electrical and plumbing and all that, or is it just like drywall and put it back together cosmetically?
Well, basically, the electrical, yes. Here's the deal: when the derecho came through,
yep.
I ripped off the mask and shit. I got a brand new mask. I got the service. I got all that shit to put that back up and the wire. So that's no big deal. But you'd have to hire electricians. So guaranteed, you'd have to just get it updated.
Yep.
But I do have all that. The mask, everything's there. So get a brand new box, everything.
All right.
That was in the plans too. We just figured, if we're gonna do it, might as well just get everything updated.
Right. Well, how come anybody? It sounds to me like you talked to several people. I mean, why hasn't anybody bought this yet?
I haven't talked to hardly anybody.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, let me buy it before you talk to somebody else.
No, seriously, I haven't talked to hardly anybody about it. So.
Well, cool. Well, can I buy it from you if I give you 30,000?
Here we go. I mean, I'm gonna have to get a lawyer, get a contract. Just get the legal shit done.
Oh, I got the contract. I do this for a living.
I got you.
So I mean, I can. Do you have the abstract, or do we have to get a new one?
Here's the deal. This is what is owed on it. Exactly, it's like 20-some thousand.
Right.
I still just got a loan on it. But all I was looking for is just pay it off and transfer it over. That's it. Done.
Well,
there's no liens against it, nothing. So.
Right, but I still want to close to a title company.
Right.
Do you have the abstract?
I don't right now. No, I don't.
Okay, so we would have to get one. So that probably takes like 3 weeks. I mean, so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could send you over a contract and we could close this probably late July, like somewhere in like the 20th through the 28th. I mean, I know you said you need to hire an attorney for the contract, but I mean, I literally have a 2-page contract that I use for all of my purchases.
Right.
So I can just send that to you. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It says you're selling me a house for 30,000. That's pretty much it. It gives me an inspection period to come through and walk it and just verify that, I ain't buying something that needs to be torn down or something.
Right. And like I said, you got to figure the year of the house too. It's like 19 whatever, so it's older house.
Yeah, I think it's actually 1900.
Yep. I mean, you look at all of them; they're all right. You know what I'm saying? That neighborhood, it's an older neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because we used to rent it at one time.
Right. So, I mean, are you good with me sending you over the contract for the 30,000?
Well, I want to see the contract first because I don't care about the walk around and all that shit. But you know what I'm saying? I understand. Yeah, you want to just see it, but I'm not going to be held to any contingencies. You know what I mean? So if I don't like it, I'll be like, no, we ain't doing it that way.
Yeah, no, it's 30,000, and if I try to renegotiate or anything like that, you have to agree to it, or I either have to close at 30 or terminate. So, I mean, it does say in there that I have a renegotiation clause where I have the right to ask for a price, but you don't have to accept it. But I mean, just being honest with you, you sound like you know what you're doing. I mean, you're literally a contractor, so this is way easier than me dealing with like a homeowner when they're like, "Oh, it's in good condition," and then I go out there and it's like,
being honest with you up front, because we were going to get into it, we did start tearing into it, and
yeah,
the thing about it is there's all new windows in it because I did replace all the windows. Front door's all right. The back door, it needs a little work because at one time it looked like somebody tried to bust into it, but you know, to me, that's more cost effective. Yeah, you can throw a fucking new door in, you know, a couple $100, big fucking deal.
Right.
But the front's fine, and, you know, like I said, there's storm doors, there's brand new ports, all that shit's done. We poured a bunch of concrete a couple of years ago, you know, sidewalk going all the way to the front, all that shit.
Right.
It's one of them things that's basically more a fixer-upper, and then you can do whatever the hell you want to do with it, you know.
I mean, that's exactly what I'm looking for. I mean,
yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, this is what I do for a living. So, I mean, this is pretty cut and dry for me. It's like, I mean, it's a vacant property. So it's like, it's not even a pain in your rear for me to go over there and get my guys to walk it, verify how much it's going to cost us to get this work done, line everything up. We'll be waiting on the abstract for freaking 3-4 weeks anyways. And then we can get it closed. So, what's a good email for you? Got it. And is the property under your name or is it under an entity?
No, it's under our name.
Okay. You said ours. So is there a wife?
Yeah. We're married, so and we're both looking to get rid of it. So that's all it's just us two.
What is her email?
Don't get into her business.
I got to get.
Seriously, I don't.
No, I got you. I have to get her signature too, so I'll send it to you twice. Just the second time, it'll be in her name, so just have her sign it that second time.
No, that's fine.
All right. Well, yeah, man, I'll send this over to you. Here's the only thing. Like, sometimes when we cold call people and then they say, hey, I want 30,000. I say, okay, let's do 30,000. Because we came out of the blue, people kind of get a little bit skittish. So I just want to let you know, like, you know, my company's Titanium Investments. You can look me up. I mean, we're a legit business. We're serious about doing this. So I know we kind of came out of the blue and you don't know who we are, but you can definitely look me up and see that this is what I do for a living. And I plan on buying this property. Okay.
Okay. No, that's understandable. Yeah, like I said, it's just, you know, one of the things that's just like, well, I'm not saying excuse my language, who the hell is this? You know,
right?
It's like, oh, okay, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I got you, man. Trust me, I do this all day, every day. So that's why I say that. Where it's like, listen, I know that you know we called you out of nowhere and we're trying to buy, excuse my language, a shit box in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. But it's like, hey, this is how I make my money. You know, it's like. You know, so it's like, hey, you want to be done with it, and I need a project. So it's like, hey, match made in heaven. Let's get it done. So, all right, man. Well, I'll get that sent over to you. Let me know if you have any questions. This is the office phone number, so you can call me back anytime. Here, just ask for RJ Bates. Okay.
Okay. No, sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Chad. Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Man, been trying to get a hold of him for a minute. May 26th. That's a cold call lead.